We'll also be catching up with Jack Savoretti. He's just over there with Buddy. Look at him fussing Buddy. They're falling in love with each other already. We'll be speaking to him in just a moment. But first of all...
That's an Athena poster right there, isn't it?
Waiting to happen. It's so good. But yes, is she still in Vegas?
She's somewhere very nice.
Somewhere nice.
Regardless.
We need
She always
sunglasses.
is. She's in Wales.
Now, he's the British-Italian singing sensation. Jack Savoretti is back with a brand new album paying tribute to his Italian roots. But before we chat to him, let's take a look at him in action.
That looked very incriminating.
What more can I do? No one ever sees this side of you. Love is on the line when the same mistakes are made over and over and over again. Candlelight is how I like to see you say my name in the darkness. It's not the same. I'm no longer frightened to be living sense from the night. No more pain and no sorrow. Sense on the night.
Oh, that is just... So,
It's cool.
Screams summer.
We actually played that here.
You did,
You
yeah.
did?
Yeah, which
You
was
came
amazing.
in.
That was the first single from the
That
album.
was the first single from the album. Yeah, it was kind of the bridge, sort of an introduction to the album, because this whole album is in Italian.
Yeah.
And I sort of wanted to ease people into that, so that was the perfect song to do. It was half-half.
I mean, it really is kind of a love letter to Italy, isn't it, this album?
It is. More than a love letter, it's a postcard, essentially,
Yeah.
in the sense that I needed to do this from a personal reason. I lost my father 2.5 years ago, and my attachment to him was very much through Italy, but through Italian music. So I used Italy as a sort of companion. I really leaned into the fact, well, after he was gone, I leaned into my heritage to find comfort, because I smelled him everywhere I went. I heard him in every man's voice, and I just felt really at home doing this. So it's more of a postcard from what I discovered when I went there to do that, when I went to look for sort of, that support blanket that Italy was to me at the time.
Yeah.
Were you able to play any of it to him before he sadly passed?
Unfortunately, only one song, it's actually the first song on the album, which is kind of the first song in itself called Come Posso Raccontare. It's the one that really explains why I'm doing this. It's the kind of, I don't want to call it identity crisis. It's more of a dance between identities, of culture, of trying to understand, am I more English, am I more Italian? Who am I? What am I? And I played that to him because I wrote it sort of at 2 o'clock in the morning after a bit too much wine. Right. And I would FaceTime him at that time of night very often after too much wine. And I played it to him, and he loved it. He said there was room for improvement, but he loved it.
As only your dad really
As only
could.
my father would. Any father would, but especially my father.
OK, you sounds the same as my dad, actually. Yeah. And you used to go to Italy all the time when you were a kid, didn't you? Yeah. I know that you went to Portofino, I mean, the beautiful Portofino.
The more I travel the world, the more I'm in love with Portofino. And I think because the more I realize how majestic it is in its beauty and its uniqueness. So, yeah, there's a lot of Portofino on this album. Yeah. Buddy's having the best time ever.
Oh, yeah, he's going for the cheers, for sure. And what about actually writing and singing in Italian?
It was difficult, yeah. I didn't know. I mean, I speak fluent Italian. I've spoken since I was a kid. But writing in Italian is very different than writing in English, because I find, like, in songwriting in English, colloquialism is what's really praised. Like, if you're too poetic, it's a bit... It's not.
Right.
It's a bit too much.
Yeah.
Whereas in Italian, it's the opposite. If you're colloquial, it sounds really cheesy. You have to use poetry to make it, to bring a sophistication. I think because the language is so beautiful by itself. English is very monosyllabic, so it's easy, which is why it travels the world so much better in music. It's easier to sort of grasp. Italian is quite complicated in the sense that one word can have multiple meanings. Right. So if you use that wisely, it's amazing. But if you use it on the obvious, it's just a bit obvious.
Is it Italian that you all speak at home with the kids?
No.
Are the kids speaking any Italian?
Not really. I speak to them in Italian. Actually, my daughter is probably definitely watching, so ciao Pinolo, if she's watching. I speak Italian to them, usually when it's affectionate. Yeah. I try not to use it when I'm angry, because that's the mistake what my grandmother made with me, is that Italian was used only when you were being told off. So then you associate it with, like, bad news. So I try to use it when I'm praising them, or it's like a special treat if I speak Italian.
I would imagine, though, being able to get angry in Italian is a lot better than getting angry in English.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of gestures.
And there's a lot of this that goes on at the same time, isn't there?
Yeah, it's amazing, like, the expression, the expressiveness of Italian. Like, even the word singing in English is singing. It's quite close, but in Italian it's cantare. Like
Yeah.
it's baba, it's all very open.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it shows that it's a very expressive language. So even when you write like that, you get. It's amazing how it's kind of a physical thing. It's a visceral thing when you write in Italian. It's not just inside like it is when you're writing in
It
English.
takes over a little
It
bit.
takes over, yeah.
Natalie Imbruglia worked with you on the album, so
Yeah.
she had to learn a little bit of Italian
Well,
too,
Imbruglia
right?
is Italian. She's from
Right.
she has Sicilian roots from Lipari.
But she doesn't speak
She
Italian.
doesn't. Well, she speaks now.
That's it. Have you helped her?
She sings in Italian now, that's for sure. She's getting better. Yeah, we had so much fun. And I have to say, it was so courageous of Natalie to trust me with this because she doesn't speak Italian, but she has Italian heritage and she's really proud of her Italian roots.
Yeah.
And I think she really wanted to do them proud, do her Italian family proud. So she came in like full beans and was like, help me get this right. Like, let's do this properly. She didn't want to do it just for the sake of doing it.
Right.
And yeah, it was an amazing experience.
You're heading off on European tour.
Yes.
I am, but we're starting in London. We're going to be playing in Hampton Court.
Okay. Oh, yes.
very
Which will be
Wow.
beautiful.
What a
Such a
venue.
beautiful venue.
Right? It'll be
Yeah.
beautiful.
Have you performed there before?
I have, like 2 or 3 years ago, I
It's
think.
the
it was.
most extraordinary place to sit in this old Tudor castle and just think,
Yeah,
gosh,
Henry
history
VIII
is by
kind
Henry
of
VIII.
den.
Gaff, yeah, where he loved it. Do you have much of a rider when you go
No,
on
I
tour?
used to have a. No, I mean now we're all kind of, we're all dads on tour, so
Okay.
it's like a lot of avocados,
Well, we
still
have-
water. Times have changed.
We have a suggestion for you here, Jack. We thought we'd employ your Italian roots and your Italian knowledge.
Does Buddy know you're bringing food up?
yeah.
We're going to
That's
find
true.
out. This could be something that goes on your
Thank
tour
you.
because actually, Napoli on the Road, which is just
Yes.
down the road here, the
Michele
bridge one's down the road here,
Pascarella. Buddy, this looks good, huh?
has been voted the best
Oh.
pizza in Europe
different.
This is legit.
outside of Italy. The best pizza in Europe outside of Italy.
Okay.
It took home the World Top 50 Pizza Awards in 2024.
Yeah.
The Michelin Awards for pizzerias. Now,
Right.
what's your experience of pizza as an Italian man with Italian heritage?
No,
What's
in
the
London you get really good pizza now.
Yeah.
This looks incredible. And
This
I
is
like how you
us.
said outside of Italy, because I'd been told best pizza in Europe, and I was like, I'm not sure how they're going to feel about that. in
Yes, I've
Napoli.
just read that little line there.
I'm
That
glad
added
you
to
put
it.
that. Otherwise,
So go on.
can I try? Which
Yeah.
one?
Yes,
I'm gonna
which
go-
one do you
I'm going to go
fancy?
for this one. This one looks really good.
I'm going to try that one.
Buddy,
I don't really
I don't know
know.
what Buddy's treat is, but the fact that he's not distracted by
It's
this pizza is
amazing,
amazing.
right? Let's have a go. This has got a stinky cheese on, I think.
Go for it.
It's definitely a good one.
That's amazing.
What do you remember pizza having to taste like if it was your grandmother making it for you, Jack?
No, I'm from Liguria, so we have focaccia.
Oh, okay,
We
so
make
you wouldn't
focaccia.
necessarily be-
Pizza is typically from Naples or Rome. This is Neapolitan. Roman is like really thin.
Okay.
But this is amazing because like the dough is kind of gooey. Like
Yeah.
you feel like you can sort of stretch it out. That's legit. That's really, really
It's
good.
legit.
It is legit.
It's coming from the Italian. It's legit.
And it's not far. They've got places in Chiswick. This one's from Chiswick, which is West London. That's not far from Hampton Court, so you should maybe get some.
Yeah.
After party
band.
at Napoli on the road.
Delicious, isn't it? We're almost in Portofino, but not quite, are
We
we?
just needed some nice Chianti, some
I
nice bread
mean-
or something.
Yeah,
No,
it could do with a nice
Fresh
cold beer.
Bellini.
Leave us for a moment. We'll talk about that.
Exactly. Thank you for joining
Thank
us
you for having
today.
me, guys.
Good luck with the tour and the album as well,
Thank
Jack.
you so much.
Absolutely.
Always a treat
It's
to have you.
out tomorrow, the album. I will be purchasing it and drinking an Aperol Spritz.
Miss Italia.
Yeah.
Right then.